So Gary is last on every single person's list that ever gets on this boat. No one is in this room would say otherwise.
No, I would probably listen. Gary has a certain, amount of charm to him. Chase is like, Chase is a nice guy, but he's got an eagle on his chest, and he's like, if Captain Clint wakes up and he sees that I haven't done this, then he's going to blame me. And it's like, well, that's not getting me wet,
No.
Welcome aboard another. Whoa, are we hot?
Yeah, a little hot.
Holy cow! Welcome aboard another brand spanking new episode of another Below Deck podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Permission to come aboard.
Permission granted. Kaylin, producer of the podcast, over there behind my glasses.
Hi.
We're I don't know how to order these things. We have a pretty big thing going on today, and it's positive, and it makes me happy. So I think that we should kind of exercise some demons before we get to Ruby.
Oh.
Kaylin gave me airborne AIDS last week. It took us, it took me out for, a serious 2 days. And I was pissed the second I walked in because I knew that he had been sick. He was sitting in my spot. He fucked up the tax form. And that the next day I called Pat. I said, Kaylin, give me AIDS. He said, I don't think it works like that. I said, you're completely incorrect. So I've forgiven him.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Dylan.
That's big of you.
But it really did throw a wrench into work, our podcasts, my weekend plans. So I'm pretty fucking pissed off about it, actually.
But you just said you let it go.
I have. So the good news is two pieces of good news. One, I've sworn off vaping. Can't do it anymore. It's lowering my immune system too much because I'm inhaling Chinese manufactured carcinogens, and it's bringing me down. There's not enough fish oil in the world that could save me from that. But the second piece of good news is that today we're joined by my baby sister Ruby Wrenn. Hi, Rubes.
Hi, Jill.
Oh, you got to get on that microphone, Ruby.
You meant actually.
So, Ruby has been breaking down the scandal with us. She's been with us the entire season of Vanderpump Rules, but she's in town from the Big Cheese, the Big Apple, and we decided, why don't you just come in and do a couple shows with us?
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So what we're attempting to do is incorporate Ruby into the network for pennies on the dollar right now. So this is kind of our first inroad into that. Now that we have that public service announcement out of the way, I think I did a great job.
You did a great job.
Yeah, great.
Do you have any others?
Yes, I do, Dylan.
Okay.
Now, Dylan and I have not discussed this yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to do it.
Always scares me when he says that.
Starting in the coming
me.
weeks, I don't know if it'll be next week or the following week, Dylan and I are going to take a deep dive into Below Deck lore. Back in the earlier episodes, back in the 2013s. And we pretty much landed on, we think we want to start recapping season 2.
No, we've said that was a weird choice, and that it's probably best to start with season 1, episode 1. But we'll talk about it.
Oh, this is good, though. This is good. We're kind of workshopping.
That's weird, right? We're just starting with season 2.
Now, Dylan and I have thought about this quite a bit. I watched season 1 back in 2012. The show really didn't get any feet until Kate Chastain and Captain Lee came on.
Right.
Season 2, that it kind of became what it is today.
Totally. And when you brought that up, I said, that's a great point, Patrick. But what we could do is talk about how it didn't have any feet. And I still want to put forth that it's very odd to start on season 2.
Fair enough. All right, guys, weigh in. This is another reason for you guys to join our Facebook group, another Below Deck podcast.
Yeah.
Weigh in. Can we start at season 2, or should we go way back and start at season 1?
Right.
That's the first piece of business.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. I forgot what the second one was.
Second one is follow Ruby on TikTok.
No.
Let's get into the episode. Rubes, what did you think about this episode? Because I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but I feel bad bringing you in on this one because this was a horrible episode of Below Deck. Go ahead, Rubes.
I thought that it was not good.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was horrible. I think that it laid a little breadcrumb trail for goodness later. I think Chase is beautifully insufferable, as is Gary, and the Lord Farquaad thing was gorgeous. So what do you rate this in?
Knots.
12.
12, that seems low.
Well, it wasn't good.
They almost killed someone on this vessel this episode.
Are you, I'm excited to talk about little orphan Esther, that murderous little child.
Well, let's get into it.
Well, hang on really quickly. Are you comfortable with the mic? Because you're hovering
you said
over
get
it.
on it. I'm on it.
You have a Gollum-like posture to you right now.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah, that works.
All right, my thoughts and knots.
Use your knee
Leave me
to
alone.
keep it up.
These boats
good idea.
are dangerous. And I thought this episode we had our first casualty. And I thought rather than break down the casualty, because we know how it all ended, I thought, as a dad, how heartbreaking would it be to break the news to little Jacob? Hey, kid, some bad news, buddy. You killed someone.
Right.
Not cool. Not cool, buddy, because that's
Not
how
cool.
you get down on one knee and talk to the kid. The good news, Gary's going to have dinner with us tonight. Right? So,
and you do say not cool when you're telling your child that he's claimed to life?
Yeah, not cool, buddy.
Got it.
You killed someone, Jacob. So anyway, that I was on the edge of my seat. Is TJ, we didn't hear from him for 12 hours. He's in the ER. Can you imagine making someone wait for 12 hours in an ER?
I was going to say we learned a lot about the Sardinian healthcare infrastructure this episode. Turns out pretty bad.
Not good.
Not good at all. Yeah. Anyway, I had a good time. Oh, by the way, sorry, a little more piece of business here. Chase, we're interviewing him this week. So head over to our Facebook group and give us questions because Dylan and I can never think of questions for these sea rats. Anyway, I love the drama
What do you
between
ask
him and
these
Gary.
people?
I don't know what to even ask him.
What do you
We're on
ask these
episode
people?
4. What are you going to ask Chase?
Yeah.
So anyway, but they always come up with it. So Gary is really,
And I joke.
really faltering this season.
I joke. We care. We have our questions.
Not about them. You don't.
Well, no, we do care, Ruby,
about them. You
All
don't.
right, Pat, go ahead.
Well, Gary, he's kind of like a beloved figure in this franchise. But he is a sex addict. He is a womanizer.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of a dickhead boss. So it's starting to sully America's perception of our beloved sex addict.
Samson, yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. But this is kind of fun to see someone that you've followed and enjoyed watching for a period of time. Now you start to dislike them. That's what's happening with Gary. I give it 80 knots.
Yeah, I thought it was a really bad episode. Give it 7 pots. There are giant swaths in my notes where I just didn't write anything. I mean, there's so many things that just happen that don't happen. You know what I mean?
Caught it.
Kaylin.
Yeah, obviously not great. I even admittedly fell asleep
Oh.
3/4 of the way through it. I had to actually finish it today. But there was a couple nuggets in there. I'll give it 22 knots.
That's a good rating.
A lot of
Do you feel any remorse for getting me sick?
I feel like half, since Patrick was just as sick as I was.
Oh.
but I'm always sick.
So am I.
I figured that out, though. I've been ingesting too much chlorine fumes, and it has inflamed my lungs.
All right, so
Or maybe
last
it's
we
'cause you have a
left
small
off.
child.
Mm.
That'll do it too. Children.
Or
Oh, right.
vaping.
Can we get?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So.
Let's get in the show.
Last we left off, Gary and Mats were having a little smoochy, while Alex was in the final form of the sea rat. These sea rats. It's kind of like, it's like sad Dragon Ball Z. They turn into these things that are really kind of biology defying. I mean, he's walking like a zombie, and I get drunk munchies, but these sea rats transform into something where a shovel is really the only adequate utensil for what they want to do in that galley. I mean, he's hammering what looked to be dry roasted turkey breast and black rice out of a Tupperware. container.
Here's my thoughts, Dylan. Drunk people don't get to eat communal food. Keep your fucking paws off the communal food, buddy.
I like that. Let's
Jesus fucking Christ, that was so gross. And I have some other words for this blackout drunk here.
Yeah.
Alex, I know you listen because all of you do. Would you like to remain being called Fabio, or would you like to be called Alex the Drunk? Because that's where this is going, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so this idiot, rather than hook up with Mads, is walking around like he just lost his eyesight trying to grab onto the edges of things to find his fucking way.
Right.
And here's what I'm saying. Alex, your nickname will be Alex the Drunk. And you're only allowed to be this wasted for three times. Okay. The first one is the first time you get drunk with your friends. You're a teenager. You don't know any better.
Okay, got it.
Second time, your bachelor party.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of the ending of something, and you're maybe a little depressed about it, you know?
Right.
And then the third is when you find out your wife's banging her personal trainer. We can all understand that.
Sure.
But not on a Tuesday, you amateur. Not on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Ruby, do you have any thoughts on what Patrick just said? Because I'm getting pretty caught up on he went blind because he was grabbing onto.
Well, you described him as a zombie. I thought as he was grabbing onto the. You know when you're so wasted, and it's only been 3 times for me, that you're grabbing onto things to hold yourself up because you have no equilibrium because you're blackout drunk on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now,
Rubes, I know you don't know Pat that well, but.
Well, I do now because he just admitted by transitive property that his wife is fucking her personal trainer.
Yeah.
I guess that's how.
Now
boy, you're a good listener.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was scary to see him like that, and it was impressive that he didn't hurt himself like the first girl did when she fell out of the bed.
Well, you know what's really the most impressive thing about this entire sequence is that he delivers a wicked burn. While in this state. I mean, he's bumping his eyes into things. He's eating the turkey and black rice like his jaw is not connected to the top part. And then he calls Gary Lord Farquaad with a lucidity that was biting and apt.
Yep. Dylan, it's a common phrase on this podcast. The drunk man says what the sober man feels.
Right.
So in his sober, he's been looking at fucking Farquaad all day long. Now he's drunk, and then it just spits out. Right. Stream of consciousness.
But it should be amended to the drunk man poorly says what the
generally.
Yeah, right. And he said it well. So, Colin says you don't leave your girlfriend and your girl alone in a jacuzzi with Gary. That is a rookie mistake, but we rise to the next day.
Well, I was going to point out though, if you can believe it, you know, when they were trying to find that Titanic, you know, and they pulled up some of that goddamn wreckage from the Titanic.
That Titanic, you mean the Titanic?
Yeah. They pulled up like a document and it read, "Don't leave Gary alone with your girlfriend because he'll try and bang her." That rule's been around for a long time. Yeah, with these sea rats, you know.
Yeah. So
it was written in Old English.
The only thing to do with this bit is to ask, like, are you implying that Gary is some kind of time traveling, womanizing wizard or something? Like, what he was on the Titanic?
The sea has no time, you know.
And, love that.
So through passages of time.
Episode title, please, Kaylin, write that down. All right, so we rise to the next day. Chase says that he doesn't want to go after any ladies because he doesn't want to have tension with Alex. Well, buddy, that's the fastest way to punch a 1-season ticket for yourself. Quit being a pussy, okay? You got to be on this show to be on this show. Mm-hmm. Well said?
Really well said, Dill.
Well said.
But I'd also point out that Fabio is ready to throw in the goddamn towel, too, because he thinks he blacked out and that blew his chances with Mads.
Right.
Young man, young sea rat, the jacuzzi is just heating up. Plenty of season to go here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, Gary is disgusting. You know, I don't like the Old English.
Gary listens.
Creed.
So.
To who? Himself?
No, to you.
Oh,
He's listening
God.
to
Oh,
you.
God. Well, now I'm whatever.
It's tough. You gotta be cognizant.
I don't need him. I don't need him in my DMs going, "Hey, you went a little hard on me. Mind backing off?"
Right.
Sea rats, don't send us that. We're not going to do it.
And Lucky, we know your name is Lucy.
I love Lucy so much.
I know,
so fun.
Lucy's great. So Alex wakes up and says, "I think I drank too much." Yeah.
No way, buddy.
Mads and Lucky and Colin and Gary both recap the evening before, respectively. Lucky has the right read on the situation. She says what Ruby said. Oh, Gary's disgusting.
Yeah. And she doesn't say it, but I'm thinking it. Who wants to make out with a fucking ashtray? That guy's throwing one cig after another down his throat. Who wants to stick your tongue in that?
And listen, we don't need to defend Gary. Gary's fine. I wouldn't use the word disgusting with Gary, but it's confusing.
Compared to
Sea-Dog?
Colin,
Yeah.
Alex, Chase, if he didn't speak and you didn't see his tattoos, he is disgusting.
Okay, Kaylin, are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's time for the
preference sheet meeting.
Charter number 3.
I'm just going to go.
No.
I
I looked at Kaylin. I was like, "Why is he staring at my sister like that? This is some serious eye contact. What's going on?" You were holding up a do. That's what was going on.
All right. Charter number 3 has 6 guests on it. The primary is John Sarasani. He's a self-made millionaire, serial entrepreneur, and business influencer.
Oh wow.
He sold his insurance company in 2015 for tens of millions of dollars. He's gathered his friends and his family and friends to celebrate the launch of his new book, 2000% Raise, which is also the name of his podcast.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't catch that.
Little fun fact about his history. He was supposed to be starting tight end at Notre Dame before getting suspended for an off-season fight he got into with his teammate.
Okay.
Oh.
Then decided to transfer to Northwestern University and suffered a career-ending injury.
Wow.
His girlfriend, Natalia Miller, is John's dairy allergic girlfriend, and she appears to be an insurance salesman. John's daughter, Anastasia, hates seafood, and his son, Jacob, loves milkshakes.
Okay.
Also, John's friend, TJ, doesn't want any fried food or meat.
Okay.
Ew.
Night 1, the guests want a 90s theme night, including a steak-tastic dinner.
Okay.
Night 2, they want a formal dinner with a
steak-tastic dinner. Go fuck yourself, TJ.
They want a post-dinner drink and gelato station.
Right.
And day 2, they want to hit the beach for games and American beach snacks.
Got it. That is a disgusting thing to put on a preference sheet.
Hey, I was doing a little digging, as I'm apt to do.
Yeah, I was going to give Kaylin shit for not bringing up the book.
Well, I was going to get into the podcast because that's my
But
wheelhouse.
we have the podcast.
Yeah, the 2,000% raise. Well, I don't think this is going to be his next business windfall, if you know what I mean. He's been doing it for a year, and I don't think anybody's listening.
Okay, how many pots do we give Kaylin's preference sheet performance?
100.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, yeah.
Good job, dude.
Definitely not 100.
Thank you. I'll take 100.
Of course, but
I don't know if it's
it was
normal,
not 100.
but his book has its own website, 2000%raise.com, and you should check it out. It's horrifying.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
Hey, I do want to point out during the preference sheet meeting,
that
this
is special.
I know.
That is really, really fucking special. So, John,
Tell us what you see.
John, I
Try to tell us what you see. Give it a whirl.
John is in a gray number suit with a red tie. He's standing next to the cover of his book. The cover of the book is propped up on a stack of books. I'm assuming they've gone unsold. He is in a valley beneath the Hollywood sign. The Hollywood sign is very, very small, very difficult to read. This is a very, very odd picture.
Yeah.
Everybody go to the website, 2000%raise.com.
Oh,
Actually,
wow,
don't. Just go to Bad TV, YouTube, and subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. Do that. I just say, I don't hate John. His kids seem to love him. I'm sure he's a perfectly nice human being. It's just he probably shouldn't create his own logos.
All right, so moving on.
Dylan, during that preference sheet meeting, I'm not sure if Kaylin mentioned it, but there is a dust-up between Captain Glenn and Daisy.
And that's part of the, I don't know if that falls under his purview or if that's on us, but Daisy,
I think it's on you.
Daisy and Gary, well, okay, rookie, you've done 18 minutes of an episode, actually.
You're right.
Daisy and Gary.
Isn't it nice that he spreads it around?
Daisy and Gary have a little bit of a feud here. Now, this is a feud as old as Below Deck. It goes back to that Titanic, perhaps. Interiors resources, the human capital of the department is much more valuable than the exterior.
Agreed.
And I don't know if I agree with it, but that's their perception, that's their read on the situation. I might agree with it, but Daisy having to give up one of her soldiers is something that is just inexcusable. And Glenn is really kind of Kyle Richardsing this season. I mean, he's throwing grenades at these sea rats, and he's saying, deal with it with a smile.
Once he's got that salami contract, he's really he's taking a turn for the worse as far as leadership.
He really has.
Too much salami.
Way too much salami.
Yeah.
He's gaslighting Mama all over that salami.
Yeah,
It's
he really
terrible.
is gaslighting Mama.
Next episode, Captain Lee called me, left me a message.
Oh.
And it was...
What'd you say, next episode?
Yeah.
It's the time traveling.
You are in a quantum psychosis tonight.
Knows no time, that sea.
Wow.
Well, actually, a fan sent it to me. It was Captain Lee. He called 911 on a certain other captain that has a salami contract, and I have the audio. I'll play that next episode. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The 911 operator was confused,
Yeah.
He's trying to explain someone who's on a boat that's on TV that sells salami killed a bunch of prostitutes in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah, you ever...
I'm so confused about if you have the audio or if you know you're
No,
going
I
to get
have
the
it, but we
specific
got
audio in the
Ruby, we got
future.
Kaylin, we got
okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of show.
Got it.
But you do time travel.
Well, no, there is no time.
This reminds me of that Tom Cruise vehicle with Emily Blunt that had 2 titles.
Right.
Kaylin?
Edge of Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow.
What was the other one?
Another one. So Gary and Mads have a little chat, and Colin and Daisy have a little chat. Foreboding much? I mean, these two lovebirds. Now, Rubes, you've been listening to the show, right? Mm-hmm. Pat has been under this kind of spell where he thinks that Colin is going to have sex with everybody on this vessel. But,
Well, 2 women were going to be fighting over him.
Right.
Which is still possible, Dylan, because that chef Alicia, she's got her eye on him. And then we got Daisy. That little conversation was definitely flirty.
Right.
So that's 2 women. That's technically a throuple.
Well, so first of all, doesn't Chef have a boyfriend?
Yeah, Chef has a boyfriend, and the throuple is Gary and Colin. And I'm trying to get that through to him, but he knows no time and knows no...
lost.
Well, these are friends, Dylan. I can't believe they go head-to-head over Daisy.
Well, it's not really going head-to-head when Colin is in the picture and Gary is the other half of the picture because there just isn't...
Going so hard in the
Boy,
paint.
Gary's going down like the Titanic.
Yeah.
It
seriously.
isn't Gary in a general sense. It's Gary compared to these people are in prison on a boat for however long this charter season is.
Yeah.
You have 3 people.
Right.
You have 3 people.
Right.
4. Captain Glenn is in there. He would do it.
Yeah.
So Gary is last on every single person's list that ever gets on this boat. No one is in this room would say otherwise.
No, I would probably listen. Gary has a certain, amount of charm to him. Chase is like, Chase is a nice guy, but he's got an eagle on his chest, and he's like, if Captain Glenn wakes up and he sees that I haven't done this, then he's going to blame me. And it's like, well, that's not getting me wet,
No.
All right, so the Gary and Mads conversation is a very awkward one, and Mads absolutely regrets it. We'll see what happens with those 2 lovebirds later in the season. Alex and Gary have a little chat. Gary comes up to him and he goes, hey, man, I really like you, and that's why I wanted to let you know that last night I was planning on letting you drown so I could throttle the girl that you like. And he's like, thanks, boss.
Yeah.
Brew, you're welcome.
Are you leaving out a piece of other information, though? He says, but I'll back off if you're into her. And if you believe that empty gesture, Fabio,
Right.
I'd like to give you a subprime mortgage loan, option arm loan there, okay? Interest only.
Right.
All right, and if that's too hard for listeners to understand where I'm going, I have
didn't
some
understand it.
waterfront property in Glendale to sell you.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. What were you talking about, though?
Spoke trench opportunity.
When all those real estate brokers went to all the poor people in 2004 to 2009 and said, hey, You can own a 6-bedroom home for fucking $500 a month.
Right.
You want in?
Right,
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I want to come. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to go to my big house with all my friends and my family. Wait. It's no longer $500 a month. Where's that guy who sold it to me? Hey, Mark, what the fuck? Where's Mark? Mark isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
And then the economy crashed.
So we get to the nighttime.
Nighttime!
But before we get there, let's take a quick break to talk about this wonderful sponsor. Our next partner is a product that I use literally every day. I started taking AG1 because...
You want to optimize your day and be a better self.
Thank you. You know, you have been so bright, so bubbly, so electric lately.
Mm-hmm. It's because I got a regimen of AG1. I take my nice little scoop of powder. I drop it in my hot cup of warm water. I pound it down. It's got like 90 vitamins in that thing.
Oh, you do a hot cup of warm water in the morning? Well, you can do cold water. You can put it in smoothies. It's very, very easy to put it into your daily regimen. And also, like, listen, it's not the greatest tasting thing in the world, but that is how you know it works. Okay, if you have a naked juice and it tastes like Jamba Juice, it's not good for you. AG1 is. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than that cold brew habit. And also, Athletic Greens is climate neutral certified. Do you want to help the planet?
Yeah, I think we all do, Dylan.
Okay. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every single day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/anotherbatchpod. That is athleticgreens.com/anotherbatchpod to take ownership over your health. Pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. It's Athletic Greens, baby.
It's just that easy. And hey, it doesn't say that this is one of the benefits on the packaging, but I was at the deli the other day and I take a lot of this stuff. I'm pretty sure it helps you read people's minds.
All right, go to athleticgreens.com/anotherbatchpod. Ruby, any thoughts?
Check it out.
Pat.
Yo!
You've been going on a lot of trips to
get some takeout?
Yeah, to get
some
takeout.
Well, I was before we signed up for Green Chef.
Yeah.
It's saved my marriage, Dylan.
Are you happier now that your marriage is saved because of Green Chef?
I absolutely am. It's changed the game for us. We now make love 3 times a week.
Yep.
We smile at each other. I feel like we can look into each other's eyes.
And you've told me 3 times a week is too much, but...
Not when you have Green Chef show up at your house, because it creates a lot more time.
Well, and also more nutrition, better nutrition.
Exactly.
You can choose from 50-plus weekly menu and market items with the option to mix and match meals from different dietary preferences in the same box without changing your plan. You can order vegan one day, keto the next. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well with dinners that work for you. Not the other way around, okay? With Green Chef, you're reducing your food waste by up to 23% versus grocery shopping. How many times have you thrown out all the chives? Exactly. You needed a couple chives.
Exactly.
And now they're black, and they have a pus to them at the bottom of that drawer where all the chives
with Green
go.
Chef, everything's carefully measured out for you.
Bring more flavor to your table this May with Green Chef's wholesome, elevated recipes featuring seasonal organic produce and unique farm fresh ingredients like rainbow carrots, bok choy, and beautiful, beautiful olives. Okay, we've told you all you need to hear. Pat, the lovemaking, the vitality, the not going to Paquito Mas saying, we don't want it that way, can you do it this way? And them saying no. So what you need to do now is go to greenchef.com/belowdeck60 and use code belowdeck60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. That's greenchef.com/belowdeck60 and use promo code belowdeck60 to get 60% off plus free shipping.
Hey, call to action. You guys buy one of these things. Do what my wife and I do. You know that film Ghost where Patrick Swayze wraps his arms around Demi Moore while she's making the clay? Right. I did that to my wife while she was cooking some Green Chef fettuccine dish.
Yeah.
Take a picture with your loved one doing that, and Patty will give you a little shout-out on the podcast.
It's the #1 meal kit for eating well. Rubes, any thoughts?
Eat up.
All right, so Alex and Mads have a little chat in the galley. They're flirty. It's summer camp.
They're cute.
And Gary is on to the next kill.
Oh, yes. He wastes no time clutching Alicia's toes. He's a footman.
His fingers are intertwined with her toes. It was very primordial. It was like watching Neanderthals couple.
It's actually very good for your posture, I believe. Like, you're supposed to spread your toes out like that on those people. You can buy things to put between your toes to, like, realign your feet.
Really?
Yeah.
She was a former circus performer.
Right, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to say, showing Gary how flexible she is not the deterrent that she needs to project to keep him at bay, because that's not,
He immediately starts projecting handprints on that guest cabin window.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sick bastard. Hey, I was going to point
Sick
out.
puppy, huh?
Mads denies making out with Gary I forget who she was talking to, but they were drinking wine on the deck.
Yeah.
So she denies this. So she's a little liar. But then she tells us the only reason that she did, if she did make out with Gary, it was because he was the only one awake and breathing. I guess she has a third requirement now. A third requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awake.
Was this thing where she's like, a girl has her needs, and it's like, I get like having an orgasm, but like you just made out with the guy. I guess you.
No.
Okay. All right. So we ready for the Guidos, and the Guidos do arrive. Shirts off, and we are ready for the tour. Now, this is one of the portions of the episode where there were things that happened, but I mean, I didn't write anything down.
Nope. I just noted that Mads, right out of the bat, says that John looks like a high school douchebag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
$60,000 a day. This is what these sea rats are talking and smacking. You haven't even talked to them yet.
Right.
This is what they think about you.
Yeah.
There was a little moment where he said, I believe, who needs champagne when you have margaritas? And then he later was like, these margaritas are really strong, just FYI to everybody. And then Natalia goes, do you mean FYI to Natalia? And he goes, yeah. That's fun.
So we get a little amuse-bouche. We get sesame seared tuna, and I think we have smoked salmon wrapped in a little bullet of cream cheese.
Didn't my charter guest say she didn't want fish?
The daughter.
Well, also, you're going to need to put a little bit more out there, I would say, Alicia. I mean, this man is
huge.
Massive.
Oh, yeah. To sustain that body build, that's like 8,000 calories a day. That's like 3 Papa John's pizzas.
And Papa John's is your favorite.
Love it. Extra sauce, mushroom, onion.
What do you think about the Cool Ranch Papadilla?
I don't think I've tried it yet, but it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds good. But
I'll get you one.
Yeah, we'll get you one. I saw something, and when you interact with the internet and the Internet of Things, you go into a little bit of malaise, so I'm not really sure where I saw it, but I saw DJ Khaled's fat ass talking about how he invented the papadilla, and I was like, would you eat them and go away? Keep eating them. Mm-hmm. Sorry. So there's something going on with the tender. And what is happening here?
All right. So as far as I could kind of glean from the situation, this particular dock or this particular territory of water does not allow it to be synced up to the back of the boat. Perhaps they think it's dangerous with all the other boats around. But that's the whole deal. It's got to drive independently on its own and follow the other boat.
Got it.
Once anchored, I believe it can be attached again. But during the boat actually sailing or moving, it needs to be separate.
Okay, so not a big deal at all.
I don't think so.
Probably
Seems like a pain in the ass. Your crewman down. He's got to drive that tender.
Yeah, I was going to say not a big deal, but like a stupid law that you have to follow because if you don't, you get in trouble.
Right. So Gary's solution to this is to teach one of the girls how to drive the tender, which seems like, quite frankly, a bonkers idea.
Well,
I agree.
I mean, I'm not trying to like gender norm this thing, but are Alex and Chase not supposed to do that thing?
I don't think it has to be gendered at all. I think him asking anybody who'd never performed that duty before, it caught in the minute.
If you asked me to do that, I'd be like, I'll kill us.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea for me to do that because I'll kill us.
It was a very dumb idea. But once again, we have the competing departments not wanting to be a person down.
Right. I would say stick Sea Dog on it. I mean, the engine's fixed. He's not doing anything. I mean, he was literally trying to DW40 or WD40 a fucking drawer earlier on in the episode. Like, get him on the tender. What the fuck?
That's what I do when I trying to get away from my wife. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to walk around the house with the little projects.
Yeah. I got some stuff to hang. All right, so there is... Oh, well, when Gary relays this to Daisy, a little snottiness ensues. Daisy covers her ears, and Gare Bear has a...
sensitive bitch breakdown.
Thank you. Just let that hang, because that's kind of what happened. You know what I mean? I mean, Gare Bear, I think what's going on with Gare Bear is that, you know, and the younger Sea Rats do make allusions to this, and I don't know if that's the right word, but they reference the fact that he is the creepy old guy. Mm-hmm. I feel as though he's aging out of the arena that he's battling in, which is this Peter Pan hamster wheel of pussy and drinking and sunshine and oil. and he just has this neuroses surrounding his station aboard Parsnips 5.
It's very confusing to these sex addicts when they kind of hit their early 40s, late 40s. I've been in the bar system probably for far too long, and you see these sad sacks trying to hit on 22-year-olds, and it's not working anymore, and you can see the confusion in their face.
Right.
You know? Yeah. No, you're old. You're creepy now, dude. Right. Get out of here.
How old is he?
I think he's like 31.
Yeah, like I don't think Gary is 40 anything.
He looks it.
Oh, agreed.
That sun will do horrible things to your skin.
It's a fine line because you need the D, but it can also turn you into a bag of leather very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, not Colin, though.
I had a friend that was in his late 40s, and I just happened to see him at a bar one night where we're all there, and he's hitting on this girl that I kind of know. And she whispers in my ear and says, "Do you know this guy?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Can you get him away from us?"
Oh, no.
Is it stuffy in here?
What do you think? It's hot in here?
It's a little stuffy, isn't it?
No, I think it's fine.
Do you think it's stuffy?
I think it's fine. Kaylin, what do you think?
Do you think
I'm
it's
okay? I'm okay.
All right. So, was that a lull?
I don't think so.
A little bit.
He's the producer.
All right, so we get a slurry, a tornado of unreasonable requests here that we have to break down. The murdering child wants a cookies and cream milkshake. Somebody wants a grilled cheese, and we want an Aperol Spritz and an espresso martini. Also, we'd like Alex to drive around the boat and throw the football to us, American football. My God, what a bunch of monsters. And I'm kidding about that. This is what the charter is supposed to be, Sea Rats.
Right.
A milkshake was ordered, a sandwich, and 2 alcoholic beverages. Daisy has a panic attack at the end of this episode. Now, I'm sure that it's warranted. Daisy knows better about the interior than I do, but $60,000 a day, I mean, that's what you get. You ask for a goddamn grilled cheese, these Sea Rats flip the fuck out, go down to the Garland, and they just fire up the fucking animosity towards you to the Bravo audience. I mean, it's really disgusting.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I also, despite the murder attempt, it was a pretty lax. It wasn't like they were making him stay up until 4 a.m. They took no shits on the deck. There was nothing crazy really that they did.
The attempted murder was bad.
Well, let me bring this murder up because, Dylan, you did gloss over the fact that prior to these crazy orders by the paying customers, we went sailing.
Yeah.
And it was uneventful because typically a mission like this elicits a little more blood spilling.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't any blood, and that's why I have a theory. You know, Captain Glenn, he was unfulfilled here.
Oh, wow.
A knife didn't fly out of that knife drawer.
Yeah.
I think he got his hands on those, what do they call them, foils? Whatever, those little...
eFoil, yeah.
eFoils. I think he programmed them to smash into each other. Just a theory.
That, or he had a very, very thin, transparent line that was power strong, too. Like something that... Batman's Morgan Freeman would engineer. And then he yanked the guy into the path of the murderous child. And he was like, rats. He was not decapitated, but just a little bit of blood is all Glenn needs to get him through the season.
Hey, Peyton over at Bravo PR, I know you listen too. Hey, all right, thanks for giving us Chase. We want the big guy, okay? I want Captain Glenn. I want him to,
I sent the snootiest email to Peyton.
I saw that.
Snootiest
I saw that.
I mean, the snootiest.
I couldn't believe it when I read it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Peyton, we want Captain Glenn. I want him, to have to sit across from Dylan and I and explain his actions over the last 10 years.
Not a single person has ever asked him about the trail of bodies behind him. And it's like, why are you protecting this guy?
Because he's Canadian.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah, the reason why he's in this profession is the messy extradition laws. Throws like, oh, we can't prosecute him. Was that a good throw?
Yeah, that was really good. And also because it was, 1509, because the sea knows no time? Is that why?
Yeah,
why it was
exactly.
British? Yeah.
Exactly.
Now she's making fun of me.
All right, so let's get to the kid. Well, we're talking about it. The kid tries to decapitate a family friend. He is, I think he tried to kill the guy. There's no convincing me otherwise.
Agreed.
They get the medic on board. He says the wound looks like an attempted homicide. You're going to need to go to a hospital. And there's this bizarre, lack of pomp and circumstance, from what I saw from the father and the primary and his wife. They're like, all right, well, have a good time. We're going to have a fucking 90s party, and we get to eat a bunch of fried shit and meat now that you're, not dead. But I was like, come on, man. The guy's bleeding out. Be a little bit more remorseful. Your child tried to kill the guy.
My wife said something interesting to me when she saw that his wife, forgive me, I don't know TJ's wife's name, but she got on that tender to go to the emergency room with him.
Yeah.
And my wife said, was his wife going with him? Oh, that's cool. Which prompted me to ask her, would you go to the emergency room with me?
Cherie has a shard of demonic energy in her.
She said no.
That's very sad.
It's so funny.
To be clear, if someone knew that if his wife knew it was going to be 12 hours, no food, no sleeping, no nothing, do you think she would have gone?
No.
I don't think
Me neither.
I don't think he would have gone.
Same.
No. I would have let me bleed out. Fine, I'll die on the boat.
Get some bleach. I think that the little captain knows a thing or two about cleaning up these stains.
By the way, you want to talk about a vacation in a spectrum of experiences. Yacht, catered, I'm not going to say 5-star, but yacht.
Yeah.
Emergency room, waiting room.
Right.
They are two absolutely polar opposites.
They're not that different. All right, so because the one guy was almost slaughtered, they get to select one of the help to eat dinner with them.
I hope this isn't a thing. This is the second charter in a row where the help gets invited to dinner.
They shouldn't be allowed. Captains only.
No, the captains only. And to leapfrog back over Captain Glenn to Gary. It's a spit in the face.
But also, there could have been, with little Jacob, a second choice. And I think that's when Dad said, hey, how about the captain? And that's when Jacob told Dad, he's like, I don't like Captain Glenn.
No, you know what I think?
He said he's the one who told me to run into TJ.
No. Well, that's an okay theory, but Rubes is a big Dexter head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. First 4 seasons, right?
Fantastic.
So Dexter's dad knew the evil that lay dormant in his son.
Mm-hmm.
I think this father knows that having Glenn come and sit down, maybe teach his son a thing or two, would be too much too soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the kid would get sloppy were he... Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
100%.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
100%. You want to talk about dinner?
Yeah. So,
I like that they leave the two place settings there like someone just died.
Well, they might be coming back, Rubes.
Do you think
but they're not coming back.
Do you think I take too long to say things sometimes?
Yes.
So, Daisy says that Daisy just puts the kibosh on this entire thing. She's like, no way, Gary is not going to be sitting down at dinner with these people. And it's like, Daisy, who died and make you Julius Caesar of this boat? I mean, it's completely ridiculous.
It was the ultimate, like, when you don't want to do something and you say, my mom said I can't.
Yeah.
It was that, but she was like, I'm not going to fucking let him go. No, not on my watch.
So dinner is bizarre.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's bizarre. We've got fried shrimp in nets, which is, it's just an odd thing that you find in restaurants from the Orient.
What are the nets made of?
Some kind of batter, I think.
Like, is it like do they dissolve in your mouth? What would that net?
Oh, you know what
taste
it
like?
might be? Just crunchies.
Oh, they're
just crunchies.
Okay.
It might be some kind of torn, like fila-like dough that's fried with them. That will kind of move into a ribeye with, I believe, shishitos. Or some type of greenery. Perhaps it was a green onion. I apologize, but shishitos I've talked about before. I'm not fucking with them anymore.
Oh.
You know, they do this 1 in 7 thing is spicy, but I got one I have recently that sat me down for a good 15 minutes, and it was completely inappropriate on Trader Joe's part. And I'm not eating them anymore.
Okay.
Creme brulee is for dessert. I think there's coconut something for one of the
Natalie,
people.
Coconut milk. Also, Dylan, the steaks were $90 steaks at a restaurant.
All in all, I'm going to stick with my stamp of bizarre, and I'm going to give it 35 pots. I mean, I just did not think the dinner was very good. So we move on to the 90s party. The Sea Rats are made to dance for their tip. Mm-hmm. This is so bizarre. It's like the family's like, all right, great job. We did that thing that production told us we had to do. Now we can go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. You know, one thing worthy of note, though, is, Gary showed all his co-workers his hairy balls,
Right.
And I've mentioned this quite a bit on the show before, but these vessels are the last vestiges that allow workplace sexual harassment.
Right.
I can't imagine this at the TurboTax Christmas party.
Yeah.
A guy named Gary, who's a manager, shows some of his co-workers his hairy balls. Yeah. Debbie goes to Karen, I think we're getting $1 million for this, but here, no one gives a fuck. Right. I saw Gary's hairy balls.
Yeah.
Because he's so charming, Gary. That's why.
All right, so we get this creepy uncle talk of Gary, and
spot on.
Yeah, I mean, he's just addicted to this like wellspring of youthfulness, and it's not. It's so sad because he's good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's good at what he does.
Right.
But he's not focused on the whole career side of things. It's a means to an end.
His hobby is pussy.
All right, next day.
He is 31 years old. Holy shit. Oh, my God.
TJ and his wife are not back at the boat yet. And when the primary finds this out, he has a very confusing attitude about it. He goes up to Chase. He's like, so do you have any idea where they are? Because they're not here, right? They're not here. What's your name?
It'd be great if Chase
Where are they?
Didn't Jacob kill them?
I don't know. Why don't you ask your fucking creepy son? I have no fucking idea.
It was weird. It was a little drama that was unneeded. John, I understand your phone's not working, but
why are you taking it out on this guy?
Yeah.
And if he knew that he had a tattoo of an eagle on his chest, I think he would have kind of slow played it a little bit. So in a huge suspect type twist, TJ is fine. He's just been in a clog of a Sardinian ER for half a day.
So bad.
Can you imagine that?
No.
I would be so uncool in that scenario.
We would never wait 12 hours in a Sardinian ER.
No.
It would be maximum, honestly, as soon as the sun was really set and it got kind of scary because it was Sardinia at night. I don't know.
Everyone has blades there.
Yeah, we're out of there. Out of there at a hotel.
We're out of there.
Don't let me fall asleep, maybe, or something, if I'm not worried. That's it.
It's the language. It's the different kind of plugs they have.
Yep.
and it's the lighting, and I don't want it.
No.
So Daisy has a panic attack, and that ends the episode. Rubes, thank you for joining us this evening.
Yeah, sure. It was a really good time.
Listen to Ruby Breakdown Vanderpump with us at patreon.com/another podcast network. The reviews are
phenomenal.
The reviews of
our
her
coverage.
appearance, yes, and our coverage are phenomenal. But I want to talk about the reviews on our page really quickly, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you leave reviews. Slowing down a little bit, guys. This is not something that
ever stops.
It just doesn't stop. So keep them up.
It's like that going. Little kid in the train in the Snowland, and you open up Ed Harris is in the front of the train. What's that?
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer. It's got the whole train moves on a 6-year-old with one arm fucking grinding a thing. That's what you guys are.
All right, we'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Rube, say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Later,
Dylan,
dudes!
say goodbye.
Bye-bye.